$400,000? What does that do to make this city safer? $400,000? What does that do to elevate the education of our kids?
America, what I'm about to show you is the most infuriating example of Democrat priorities you've ever seen. While Baltimore residents are getting shot in the streets and afraid to leave their homes, the city is spending $400,000. That's nearly $500,000 on gingerbread person training to teach firefighters and police officers about preferred pronouns. Meanwhile, they're cooking their crime statistics by reclassifying shootings as accidents and refusing to investigate violent crimes to make their numbers look better. So let me get this straight. You don't have money to properly investigate murders, but you have $400,000 to teach cops about gender identity. This is exactly why Democrat cities are collapsing while their leaders get rich off of the chaos.
Hope that our administration here in Maryland wouldn't want to lose millions of dollars in federal funding, that they would respect common sense, biological truth.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is a perfect example how Democrat leadership has completely lost touch with reality while their city burns around them. Let me break down this absolute insanity. Baltimore's fiscal 2026 budget allocates $400,000 for the mayor office's LGBTQ affairs, with $300,000 going to salaries for 3 employees whose entire job is teaching city workers about gingerbread persons.
The training document shows that city employees learn to define terms such as asexual, transgender, pansexual, and genderqueer.
They're literally using something called gingerbread person, like a gingerbread man, but with gender ideology, to train Baltimore police officers, firefighters, and city workers about different sexual orientations and gender identities. Nearly 3,000 employees have been forced through this training since 2023.
Baltimore city employees are told in the LGBTQ training to avoid saying terms such as born female, born male, opposite sexes, ladies and gentlemen, mailmen, firemen, and policemen.
So while people are getting shot in the streets, Baltimore's priority is making sure cops don't accidentally call themselves policemen instead of police officers. Reverend P.M. Smith, who funded Hope Academy, said it perfectly. $400,000. What does that do to make the city safer? $400,000. What does that do to elevate education for our kids? $400,000. What does that do to make this place more affordable? But here's what's really infuriating. While Baltimore is wasting $400,000 on gender training, they're systematically lying about their crime statistics to show how dangerous the city has actually become.
While the mayor continues to tout a decrease in violent crime backed by police data, some residents say that he's out of touch with reality Baltimoreans face day to day.
Former detectives and current officers are saying that they've been pressured to reclassify shootings as accidents, downgrading assaults to minor incidents, and avoid opening investigations that would add to the official crime tallies. This isn't poor record keeping. This is a deliberate fraud designed to protect Democrat politicians.
We are acknowledging this historic reduction that we have in our city.
Baltimore is still number 3 on the list of U.S. cities with the highest violent crime rates.
Mayor Brandon Scott is out there claiming violent crime is down 25% and calling it a proof of policies that are working. But residents are telling a completely different story. They're more afraid than ever to leave their homes.
All it is numbers. All it is numbers. He says he listens to people. I don't think so.
He said that problem existed long before he became the mayor, and it is what it is. He's just like, I don't really care.
So let me get this straight. You're spending $400,000 to teach cops about gingerbread persons while simultaneously ordering them to lie about crime statistics. This is the leadership Baltimore voters chose? This $400,000 gingerbread scam perfectly exposes what Democrat leadership really cares about. They don't care about stopping murders. They care about virtue signaling. They don't care about protecting families. They care about pushing woke ideology.
We obtained documentation of these trainings in a public information request. Included is a genderbread person activity, which is used to instruct city employees on how people can have a different gender identity, gender expression, and anatomical sex.
While residents are describing their neighborhoods as war zones where gunshots are being heard nightly, Baltimore's leadership is focusing on making sure city employees know the difference between pansexual and genderqueer.
And it's a shame how they're wasting public tax dollars.
That's Reverend P.M. Smith, a Baltimore City native who founded the Hope Academy and serves as the pastor of Huber Memorial Church. He said the mayor's office of LGBTQ affairs is an example of how the Baltimore City government has strayed from its core services.
Reverend Smith nails it. It's a shame that they're wasting public tax dollars. The Baltimore City government has strayed from its core services, which should be protecting citizens, maintaining order, not teaching cops about gender ideology. Think about what $400,000 could actually do for Baltimore. That's enough money to hire 8 to 10 additional police officers. That's enough for better crime scene investigation equipment that actually reduces violence instead of just teaching people about new pronouns. This is what happens when you elect leaders who care more about woke credentials than actually governing. Mayor Brandon Scott and the Baltimore City Council would rather spend taxpayer money on ideology indoctrination than address the real problems that's destroying their city.
We reached out to each office asking how this training benefits their employees. The police department was the only one to respond, with the spokeswoman telling us the training is, quote, essential for law enforcement.
The critics are absolutely right. The focus on social programs and diversity training has diverted resources and attention from the core public safety functions. When you're spending $400,000 on gingerbread training, you're not spending that money on actual crime prevention.
Smith said these ideas on gender have no place in the Baltimore City government.
And that kind of confusion you cannot build a stable society on.
Meanwhile, residents are saying official statistics don't match their lived reality. Crimes are being reported but never appearing in the database or being classified completely different than what actually happened. This, my friends, is the Democrat playbook. Lie about problems, waste money on woke nonsense, and blame everyone else when your city falls apart. Baltimore's $400,000 gingerbread scam isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern we see in every Democrat-run city. They prioritize ideology over safety, feelings over facts, and virtue signaling over actual governance.
Our public information request revealed that the training was provided to nearly 3,000 employees since 2023, with specific offices including the Baltimore City Police Department, Fire Department, Mayor's Office of Homeless Services, Human Resources, Department of Public Works, and Office of Civil Rights.
Nearly 3,000 city employees, including police officers and firefighters, have been forced through this gingerbread training. That's 3,000 people who could have been spending time actually protecting the community instead of learning about preferred pronouns. This is why, my friends, Baltimore is ranked one of the most dangerous cities in America, while claiming crime is down 25%. When your leadership is more concerned about gender ideology than gunshot victims, you get exactly what Baltimore has become, a war zone with good PR. America, Baltimore's $400,000 gingerbread person scandal shows you everything wrong with Democrat leadership. While residents are afraid to leave their homes and getting shot in the streets, their elected officials are spending nearly $500,000 teaching cops about gender identity. This isn't wasteful spending. It's a complete betrayal of the people who elected them. Baltimore residents didn't vote for gingerbread training. They voted for safety, for functioning city services, for leadership that would address the real problems. Instead, they got Mayor Brandon Scott and the city council that think the biggest problem facing Baltimore is that firefighters might accidentally say firemen instead of fire personnel. Meanwhile, they're cooking crime statistics to show how badly their policies have failed. They're reclassifying shootings as accidents, downgrading assaults, and refusing to investigate crimes that make their numbers look bad. This is what happens when you elect people who care more about woke credentials than actually governing. This is what happens when virtue signaling becomes more important than public safety. Baltimore residents deserve better than leaders who waste $400,000 on gender ideology while their city burns in flames. They deserve leaders who prioritize stopping murders over teaching preferred pronouns. But they'll keep getting exactly what they voted for until they start electing people who understand that the government's job is to protect citizens, not indoctrinate them. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.